The queens enter the workroom, with Ritska brightly smiling, already excitedly chatting with Aventurine about anything he can think of, and Aventurine smiling and nodding at him. Flower rolls her eyes.
It's a new day in the workroom, and I'm in high spirits. Arsene is gone. I turned that lip sync out, and the air already feels lighter in here with him gone. And I kinda have Aventurine to thank. I don't know why he tried to help Arsene, but it ended up backfiring, so I don't mind one bit. I see Flower looking bitter, but I'm just not going to interact. I won't let the bitch spoil my mood.
Mimi clears her throat and gets Ritska's attention. She then says that she'd like to apologize for how she spoke to him last week. Ritska looks surprised, and Flower gives her a side eye. She continues, saying that she was just frustrated because of Meringue getting eliminated so early, but that it was her own fault and not Ritska's or Josie's. Josie says, "Now why am I in it?" and the queens laugh.
I do feel really bad for how I treated Ritska. I don't like to get ugly like that. I don't do ugly, I do pretty, haha. I did let my feelings take control of me, and I think not only did it affect my performance in the challenge, but it had me treating people in ways they didn't deserve. I just hope I can make it up to him.
Mimi, why are you apologizing to him? You read that bitch and so did I, and he deserved it. There's not room for busted queens in this competition. So let's just round them up already. Ritska, Oswald, Skull Kid, get out. Kato, you're on thin ice too with that clean girl mug. But I was impressed by his showing last week. So he's good for now, I suppose.
Ritska looks stunned, before smiling, and thanking her, saying he accepts her apology. Flower says that she isn't sorry to be clear, and is about to continue, before Mimi cuts her off and firmly says that's enough. Flower looks shocked, and goes silent.
Oh, mother, she put her foot down. Flower better be careful or she'll get the belt, haha. Really though, Flower is sickening, but she needs an attitude check. We've seen it a million times. Lola, Peter Griffin, and even Celestia last season. The talent can bring you far, but you won't win if that's how you act.
Flower, looking upset, tries to object, but Mimi just sternly says we'll talk about this later. Shortly after, the room mail alarm rings.
She's already the hair hers.
Hello, my lovely top 10 queens, and congratulations on making the top 10. But, is it just me, or do I look fantastic today? I mean seriously, I look snatched. Oh, that reminds me.
Wait, is she hinting at what she thinks she's hinting at? Oh my god, I've been waiting for this moment since my very first audition. Is it finally time?
This week's Maxi challenge is Snatch Game.
Yes, finally, this is my challenge to lose. If there's one thing I can do, it's take a character and run with it. I've been crossing my fingers every week that this challenge would come soon. Now I get to really show what I can do.
We're expecting big things from you queens. This is one of the challenges that has historically established frontrunners and taken out weak links, so the time is now to prove which you are. Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
Did you hear that, Flower? This challenge takes out the weak link mannequins. So I suppose you should start packing your bags, no? But, all of that aside, I'm very excited for this challenge. This is where my drag really shines. I can see Oswald practically doing leprechaun kicks, and I think he'll be my biggest competition this week. Nobody else really sticks out, so I guess the best queen will win.
The queens all separate to begin working on their character. Kaito asks Elise who she's going to be for Snatch Game, and Elise says she's gonna take a risk and play as Kagamane Rin. Kaito blinks, and says that that's definitely risky, asking if she thinks she can pull off playing Rin in front of Rin. Elise says that she's nervous, but that she really thinks she can do it, and that she's sick of being safe, so she'll do what she needs to do. Kaito says he respects her for that.
Taking a risk worked out well for Kaito last week, and I'm hoping it'll do the same for me this week. Plus, me and Kagamane Rin have a lot in common. I'm pretty, she's pretty. We both like pink. We both hate Danny Phantom. There's a lot for me to work with here.
Elise asks Kaito the same question, and he responds that he thinks he's going to play as Ross Lynch, as his character Austin Moon. Elise giggles, and says that's a strange pick, but that strange choices worked out for him last week. Kaito nods, and says he wants to carry his momentum over, and that he thinks it's an unexpected choice.
Ross Lynch as Austin Moon was the queer awakening of a generation, let's be real. And he's very charismatic and funny in his role. There's a lot of gimmicks and bits I can plan, and lots of ways to volley with Kagamane Len during the challenge. I'm very confident I can pull this off. Oh, by the way, what do you think of my new look? It's great, right? No more fan service confessionals, haha.
Pikachu walks over to their station and hops up onto a chair, and tells Kaito that he wanted to apologize again for lashing out during Untucked. Kaito waves a hand, and says that he wasn't upset with Pikachu, just very confused at the sudden attitude. Pikachu elaborates that he has very high expectations for himself here, and he's just frustrated at his performances. Elise says she feels the same way lately, so she understands what Pikachu is thinking. Pikachu goes on to say that he's trying to start fresh this week, and spent all night practicing, because he thought this week would be Snatch Game. Kaito, stunned, says all night? Pikachu nods.
Did I sleep? Well, no, but I'm more prepared for this challenge than anybody here, and it's time I finally step into the spotlight. I have one challenge win, with my group win from episode 3. But I've not been performing at my best, and I think that really slaying the Snatch Game, possibly even taking a second win, will push me forward.
Pikachu says he's planning on playing as Zip, from Cartoon Drag Race Philippines Season 1. Kaito and Elise look at each other.
Playing as Zip is a choice. I love Zip, he's a personal friend of mine. He's a funny guy, but a caricature of Zip is very easy to mess up, it can get chaotic very quickly. I hope he knows what he's doing.
Pikachu says he thinks he can handle it, but that he has to start getting ready. As he's speaking, his eye twitches, and Elise looks concerned.
I can't tell if it's the lack of sleep or the safe placements that are getting to Pikachu, but whatever it is, I'm highly concerned. Pikachu, please be careful, because pushing yourself like this never goes well.
Mimi and Flower are at the same station, not speaking, with an awkward silence in the air. Eventually, Mimi clears her throat, and asks Flower why she's being so quiet. Flower side-eyes her, and says why do you think, after what Mimi did when they entered the workroom. Mimi sighs, and says that like it or not, the two of them were wrong yesterday and it was childish. Flower says she doesn't get it, since Ritsuka is clearly at a level of drag below theirs. Mimi says that even if that were objectively true, he didn't do anything to the two of them. Flower stands up and says that this isn't a goddamn Disney show, and that if someone does not have talent and star quality, they do not deserve to be here, and she's not gonna mince her words about it. Mimi looks shocked, but then puts on a stern face and stands up, saying that it isn't for them to decide if Ritsuka has star quality or to read him about it, it's for the judges. Flower scoffs, and says well bitch, the judges put him in the bottom too. Mimi's jaw drops, but after a moment, she just glares at Flower and says she needs some time alone, collecting her Snatch Game materials and calmly walking away. As Mimi walks away, Flower's expression softens, clearly upset.
I don't understand why Mimi has so many reservations about what we said to Ritsuka. I said what I was thinking and I said what was true. I don't get what's wrong about that. But something about that look she gave me before she turned around. I just feel so small now, and I've never felt like this before. But I can't think about it right now. I need to focus up and get ready for Snatch Game, or I won't be here to think about it later.
I see so much in Flower. So much potential, so much personality and charisma, so much talent. But she just has to learn that it isn't always her moment. And I'm not perfect either. Well, I am perfect in drag. Haha, but I'm not a perfect person. I went off on Ritsuka. But the difference is that I realized he didn't deserve it, and I'm trying to make amends. I hope Flower realizes it soon too.
Mimi goes over to a station with Josie, Ritsuka, and Aventurine, and asks if she can work with them, because she needs a break from Flower. Josie nods, but asks isn't Flower your drag daughter now? Mimi says yes, but she just needs a minute because they're having an argument about how they treated Ritsuka. Ritsuka looks down for a moment, but Aventurine puts a hand on his back, and smiles at him, which seems to brighten Ritsuka's expression a bit.
I'm still mad at Ritsuka for crashing out like he did, because it really did a number on my invisible strategy. But that kicked dog face he was making is thawing my cold, dead heart. I respect Mimi for apologizing, but it does give me a few ideas. Mimi is a strong queen, it could be nice to have her in our corner.
Aventurine says that if Mimi does want to make it up to the two of them, she could give them a hand in the challenge. Josie speaks up, starting to ask when Mimi did anything to Aventurine, but he quickly talks over her and says that he would love one of her wigs for the challenge, and some accessories for the runway. Mimi's face lights up, and she says sure, anything they need. Josie giggles to herself.
I know I can seem airheaded, but Philippines, this doll is the next Albert Neutron. Or, was it Jimmy Einstein? Whatever, who cares? My point is, I'm starting to see through aventuring. He's really controlling the conversation when, if you really think about it, this had almost nothing to do with him. But Mimi completely ate it up, and now he's getting access to her wardrobe. I'm kinda living for it.
Mimi asks what characters the two of them are playing, so she can get some things for them to use. Aventurine says he'll be playing Crystal LaBeija, the founding mother of ballroom. Mimi claps excitedly.
A lot of high fashion and runway is inspired by the ballroom scene, and Crystal LaBeija truly started it all, so I want to play her here as a sign of respect. But it's more than that. Crystal is such a caricature to begin with, that all I need to do is play up her exaggerated mannerisms, and read the other girls on the panel down. And she was a pageant girl, so she's a perfect fit for the runway category. It's basically a free top placement with my charisma and star power.
Ritska, seeming in much better spirits, excitedly says he's decided to take a risk and play as Kagamine Len in the Snatch Game. Josie's eyes widen, and she asks, is he sure? Mimi then adds that it's a lot of pressure to play as a queen right in front of them. Ritska says that he's tired of the judges saying he's fading into the background, and that he's either going to wow them with a bold choice, or go out with a bang. Josie jokes that it's a great choice, because Kagamine Len is so full of himself that Ritska will win the second that he walks in looking like him. The other queens laugh.
Last season my boyfriend Sato had a lot of strong moments, but he just couldn't escape the middle of the pack, and he wasn't taking risks. I told myself I wouldn't come here doing that, but I've fallen into the same pattern, and I won't keep doing it. I'm taking a big swing. If I succeed I'll hit it out of the park, and if I miss, I'm prepared to lip sync. I need to get the judges' focus on me one way or another, and this is the challenge for it.
Mimi turns to Josie, and says that while she's getting some stuff for everyone else, does Josie want anything? Josie says no, because she actually has both outfits that came directly from the person she's impersonating. Mimi looks impressed and asks who, and Josie says of course it's her body tea sister, Christy Montero. Mimi says that sounds great, and turns to get the garments and accessories for the others, shooting a look at Josie over her shoulder.
Me and Christy have a lot in common. We're bodied to an 11, we're fantastic performers. And, just like her, I'm going to win Snatch Game. The only difference is she didn't take her crown home, while I will be. I mean, who else is gonna do it? Just look at me. Oh, Philippines, I hope you're excited for my reign.
Christy? Is Christy funny, though? I mean, she's cunty, she's charismatic. But Josie isn't especially funny. I think it's a very strange choice to use Christy, who you have to work hard to make funny. Then again, my character isn't inherently funny either, so maybe I should just trust her. I'll be playing Leslie Gore, the 1960s lesbian icon. I'm planning on playing off of her music like it's my party and Judy's turn to cry, with rapid mood swings and strong reactions. I'm really excited to turn this challenge out like the others.
Oswald and Skull Kid are chatting about the challenge as they get into their Snatch Game drag. Oswald asks Skull Kid who he'll be playing, and Skull Kid asks him to guess. He then pulls out a giant black and gray styled wig, large breastplate, and chunky necklace. Oswald cracks a smile, and asks if he's playing Michelle Visage. Skull Kid nods, and says that there must be a brain under those ears after all. Oswald laughs.
I'm so obsessed with Michelle Visage, especially back in the early Drag Race seasons. She was one of my first inspirations to start drag, because I loved how she could just get up into the loudest, most glamorous outfits and wigs, and speak her mind with no filter. So for Snatch Game, I'm getting up into Jersey drag, I'm not blending my neck, and I'll be letting the girls have it.
Skull Kid asks who Oswald is playing, and Oswald pauses for a moment, before responding that he'll be playing Mickey Mouse. Skull Kid says that's a good choice, and asks why. Oswald clears his throat, and says Mickey is actually his drag brother. Skull Kid's jaw drops.
What the fuck did he just say? I thought they looked a little similar, but his drag brother? Mickey is such a big name, with millions of dollars and some of the best drag ever. And Oswald, bless his heart, literally got rejected from the show like 15 times and spent less on his runways than I spend at the Costco food court. I'm in shock.
Oswald explains that they started drag together, and were really close. But when Mickey got his big break, he completely left Oswald behind, ignoring his calls and never speaking to him again. Oswald goes on to say that he thinks it's the worst thing that's ever happened to him, because he cared about Mickey so much, so to get discarded like that has hurt him more than anything. Skull Kid's expression softens, and he says Mickey was stupid to not take Oswald with him, and he doesn't need him. Oswald says that he knows, and he wants to be over it, but that at the end of the day, even with all the bitterness from being abandoned, he still misses his brother. Oswald starts to tear up, covering his face, and Skull Kid walks over, hugging him tightly. Oswald hugs Skull Kid back, thanking him, before wiping his eyes and going back to preparing for the challenge.
If I can take a break from being a shady bitch for just a second. I feel a very strong connection to Oswald, and I'm so happy that he felt comfortable to share this with me, because it's clear that it's hurt him for a long time, and it really does explain how he's so motivated to prove queens like Flower wrong. I haven't cared about someone like this before in my career, and I want to do what I can to protect him. So listen here, you ugly, messy, untalented rat bitch. You better fucking hope we never run in the same circles after this, because it will be on sight.
Mickey, if you're watching this, I don't know what made you leave me behind, I don't know what went through your head or why you hate me. But I'm using this challenge as a way to let those feelings go. I won't blame myself for you leaving anymore, I won't see myself as a failed Mickey Mouse reject, and I won't try to reach out again. This is my goodbye to you, and if I can take all the hurt and betrayal and channel it into a way to push myself further in this competition, it'll be all the better. I hope you're doing well out there, messy mouse.
Hello my loves, and welcome to Cartoon Drag Race Philippines Season 2. I am one of your beloved hosts, Kagamane Len. Please welcome our beautiful judging panel, the other half of our sickening judging duo, it's Kagamane Rin. Our permanent judge, two-time Snatch Game winner, and my favorite drag queen, it's Candace Flynn. And the robbed icon of Cartoon Drag Race Toon Madness, it's Julie. Girl, you are looking fantastic.
Well, if his Twitter engagement is anything to go by, I successfully exorcised the evil demon Garchomp. Thank you, Subterra bitch.
What did you just call me?
You heard what I said.
Oh, well, anyway. In tonight's Maxi Challenge, we tasked our queens with participating in the Snatch Game. And tonight on the runway, category is Imitation is Flattery. Walk the runway in what you consider your Snatch Game character's most iconic look. Now, without further ado, let's get into the judging.
Aventurine will play Crystal LaBeija. Elise will play Kagamane Rin. Flower will play Dita Von Teese. Josie Rizal will play Christy Montero. Kaito will play Ross Lynch as Austin Moon. Mimi Tachikawa will play Leslie Gore. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit will play Mickey Mouse. Pikachu will play Zip. Ritsuka will play Kagamane Len. Skull Kid will play Michelle Visage. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Pikachu, and Skull Kid slayed the challenge.
I absolutely stormed this week, and I couldn't be happier. When I jumped on top of the table and started tap dancing and humming while the other girls bantered, I seriously thought Kagamane Len was about to pass out. Like, he probably should have been breathing into a paper bag. I'm so proud of myself, I really think this win is mine for the taking.
Kagamane Len absolutely loved my performance tonight, and I'm thrilled. I volleyed really well with most of the other girls. A few of them were hard to volley with. It was like trying to talk to a statue with Flower. But regardless of that, I love what I did tonight, and it felt even better to do it as Mickey. It feels like the end of an era.
I think I did the best of anyone this week if I'm honest, but that wasn't very hard. So many girls bombed this week, I fear we're gonna have a bottom 5 like on Cartoon Drag Race France Season 3. But Flower was the worst of all. If she isn't in the bottom tonight, I'm gonna throw the biggest hissy fit on Cartoon Drag Race history, so get your cameras ready I suppose.
Kaito and Aventurine were great in the challenge.
I didn't banter as much as some of the others, but I had really great solo moments, and I think Kagamane Len really liked my character. The look was perfect too, I had all his mannerisms down and the voice was perfect. I don't think it's my night tonight. Pikachu was absolutely fantastic and I'm expecting him to take it. But I'm proud of what I did, and I think the judges will be too.
Mimi Tachikawa, Josie Rizal, Ritsuka Uenoyama, and Elise were bad in the challenge.
This definitely wasn't my best week. I actually started really strong. Kagamane Len laughed a few times, and when I started pulling tissues out of my bra he laughed even more. But after that, I sort of ran out of material, and I really flatlined, missing some setups and volleys. I'm just hoping to stay safe.
Oh, girl, I absolutely gave Kagamane Len the Josie Rizal experience. But for once that's not a good thing.
I was supposed to be giving the Christy Montero experience, and he didn't seem very impressed. Philippines, I may be in danger.
Flower flopped the challenge. Flower slayed the runway.
I'm not delusional. This was a bad week for me. I was really distracted, and this challenge isn't my strong suit to begin with, so I totally bombed as Dita. But my runway tonight is on another level. My waist is so tight that I'm about to need life support, and I'm in a recreation of Dita's iconic Westwood wedding gown from 2005, which I sewed myself. If all goes well, it'll save me. If it doesn't, and I have to lip sync for my life, I am ready to do so.
Aventurine, Josie Rizal, Skull Kid, Kaito, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Mimi Tachikawa, and Ritsuko Uenoyama were good on the runway.
My look tonight is based on Kagamine Len's trained dancing shoes look from the 2021 Summer Festival. I'm covered in ribbons, beads, and bright fabrics, and I feel absolutely fantastic. This is a really unique silhouette for me. It's not like what I usually wear, and I think the judges can appreciate that.
This runway is the full-on Steamboat Willie experience, one of Mickey's first ever big roles. And I'll have you know, I gave him that goddamned outfit. But I've recreated and elevated it tonight. I'm carrying a prop boat with my shoulder straps, steering down the runway. And I'm actually whistling First Love Academy, my favorite Kagamine Twins song.
Pikachu flopped the runway.
So, the trouble with this category is that Zip is very far from being a look queen. I decided to recreate his makeover look with Sato, but let's all remember that the same challenge this was in sent Sato home, so I don't think the judges were very impressed with my variation of it. I think another look might have been the better choice. But I was the best in the challenge regardless, so I'm still on track.
My queens, I have made some decisions. Kaito, Ritsuko Uenoyama, Flower, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Elise, and Skull Kid. You are the tops and bottoms of the week. That means that Josie Rizal, Mimi Tachikawa, Aventurine and Pikachu, you are safe. You may leave the stage.
Oh, that is a fucking face crack. Philippines, let me make something clear. I've known Pikachu for my entire career. Not once in all that time have I seen him look like that. Now, me personally, I'm happy to be safe. Being safe is lovely. Think of all the great things that are safe. Condoms, Carmilla Carmen, eating silica packets. I'll find my way into the top again soon, but for now I'm thrilled to be safe.
As Pikachu leaves the stage, the queens can hear Josie quietly whispering to him that it's going to be okay.
Now, let's get into the critiques. Kaito, please step forward.
Austin Moon was such a fun choice for Snatch Game. It's out of the box but still grounded enough for us to clock the references and to easily volley with other queens. I had so much fun just watching you, it was effortless, and it felt like you knew exactly what you were doing.
Now, I think you cheated a bit, because as my brother you know good and goddamn well that Twunk was a childhood crush of mine. But you had the mannerisms down so perfectly, you had a perfect mix of improv and prepared bits. I mean, it was just amazing.
I also liked your performance tonight a lot, but I do want to say, this runway is really simple. It's fun, you sold it really well, and I clocked that it was Teen Beach Movie. But we do kinda have to judge things as they are, and this is basically shorts. An open beach shirt with some rhinestones on it, a tank top, and a prop surfboard. But, simple as it is, I have to commend you for the detail. The tan lines barely peeking out under the straps was a cute addition, and I appreciated the boyfriend blush you did to imitate a light sunburn, as well as the sunscreen on the nose. Great job overall.
Ritsuko Uenoyama, please step forward.
I am gonna commend you for taking a risk. Doing Kagamine Len in front of Kagamine Len was brave, and you did have some genuinely funny moments. But there wasn't much attempt at a voice, and a lot of your responses were really basic. You also didn't really volley with the other girls.
I'm a little conflicted, because on one hand, the choice was ballsy and I'm happy you listened to us and stopped playing it safe. But if you take a risk and fail, you still failed. That being said, I love your look tonight. It's so fun, one of my favorite looks of mine, and you really did make it your own. I just wish you had added a little more, and sold it on the runway more.
You were really awkward at parts of the challenge. It seemed like you were nervous and unsure of how to insert yourself. Last week you were in the bottom, and during that lip sync you really gagged me. You took up space, you commanded the stage, and you made sure you were catching our eyes, and always under the spotlight. I need that energy applied to the challenges, Ritsuko, because you are a star, but you're still holding back.
Flower, please step forward.
Flower, girl, what happened? That was the least charismatic Dita Von Teese I've ever seen. I mean, Dita's humor is subtle, but she's funny. And I understand not being a comedy queen, but you did make the choice to play her knowing that she's subtle, and then gave us nothing.
Flower, this is the 5th week in a row you've given one of the best runways of the season. But that Snatch Game, I just can't even describe how bored I was. It was whiplash, seeing that performance followed by that runway. I don't know how to feel, but I was very disappointed in your impersonation tonight.
Flower, I'm gonna look you in the eyes when I say this. I couldn't care less about this runway. It's damn near perfect. I have half a mind to steal it from you. But that Snatch Game was worse than Garchomp's, and it's hard to make me say that. Don't let this become a pattern, because you're capable of more.
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, please step forward.
That performance was such a perfect storm, Oswald. I know that you know Mickey personally, and that the relationship is a bit, tumultuous. But you really channeled his energy this week. Just the right amount of mess and dividum. I was obsessed.
The way you volleyed, they need to use a recording of your Snatch Game to teach mannequin queens around the world. That's exactly what Snatch Game is about, and you absolutely fucking nailed it, Oswald.
There's not much more to say about your Snatch Game, so I want to talk about your runway. The giant boat prop with a Steamboat Willie look, I mean come on, that's genius. It definitely could have used some polishing and some more decorating to add interest. Think more Willem and less Dita Ritz. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed it.
Elise, please step forward.
When I saw you playing me on the panel I got excited, and even more so because the look was absolutely perfect. I was looking at my twin. Or, my identical twin, not Kagamane Len. Anyway, I started with high expectations, but you were really underwhelming. And your look tonight, I like it, but it's actually less interesting than the look it's based on, which loses a lot of points. Very disappointed tonight.
You essentially didn't speak unless spoken to, and your responses were all really simple, something anyone could have thought of and usually not very related to Kagamane Rin. It seemed like you thought the look was the main part of the impersonation, but it really is the least important part.
Not volleying during Snatch Game? That's the deadliest sin you can commit. You just sat there, staring into space, waiting for your turn to talk. And tonight on the runway, I can't even read you because this looks good and fits the category, but I expected so much more based on the looks you've brought in the past. It was just such wasted potential.
Skull Kid, please step forward.
This was such a great showing for you. The accent was perfect, the look was perfect. I clocked that unblended line on your neck, that was shady bitch, and I lived for it. You aren't always a standout, but when you're in your element, you're unstoppable.
What sold your performance for me tonight was the runway. There's a lot of obvious iconic Michelle Visage looks, but I'm obsessed with you for going for the look from the cover of Seduction's Heartbeat album. The wet wig, the 90s makeup. Yes, it's a very basic look, but I have to appreciate that you never do the obvious thing.
I do wish you had volleyed more. You did some, but next to queens like Pikachu and Oswald, who were basically making the other queens into props, it wasn't quite enough for me. But that's literally my only critique of you tonight. You smashed the challenge, and I loved your runway idea. Be proud of yourself.
My queens, now that we've let you know our thoughts, it's time to get into your placements. Kaido, tonight your Snatch Game fed us everything we needed, with a side of pancakes. Great job this week, you're safe. You may leave the stage.
I would have liked to win, but this wasn't my challenge. My time will come, I'm sure, and until then I'm just gonna soak in that this is my 3rd top placement in a row. Thank you Len and Rin, and thank you to Candace and Julie as well. And while I'm at it, congratulations Courtney. Next week I'll have to turn it up so I can't be denied.
Oswald, Skull Kid, you both had us in stitches in the challenge, and on the runway, you went out of the box. Congratulations my loves, you are both the winner of this week's challenge.
Normally I'd be mad for my second win to be another shared win, but I can't be. If I had to split a trophy with someone, I'm glad it's Oswald instead of one of those other bricks. We definitely deserve this.
Wow, this feels unreal. Winning my second challenge dressed as Mickey, it's almost poetic. I have more wins now than he did. I'm getting my recognition, and my star is rising. I think I can finally let my grudge go and forgive Mickey for my own sake.
That means that Ritsuka Uenoyama Flower and Elise, you are the bottoms of the week.
When I wanted to break my safe streak, this isn't what I meant. But I'm ready for it. I have to stand out somehow, maybe this is what I needed. I just hope I don't let my family down.
Ritsuka Uenoyama, in the challenge, you took a risk, but you didn't commit enough to pull it off. I'm sorry my love, but you are up for elimination.
Damn it, Ritska, again? I suppose it isn't a big deal. But I don't agree with this. It's alright, I'm sure he'll fight his way out. And if he doesn't, it just means deadweight has been cut. That being said, good luck Ritska. Rip that bitch's pedals off.
Flower, your Dita Von Tease was Dita Von Week. But tonight on the runway, you showed your star power. You're safe, you may leave the stage. Elise, I'm sorry my dear, but you are up for elimination.
Oh my god, I'm safe? How the fuck am I safe? I mean, I was completely ready to lip sync, but I guess the judges liked my runway enough to protect me. I won't be down here again, trust and believe.
Prior to tonight, I asked you to prepare a lip sync performance too. Agora Hills by Doja Cat.
The time has come for you to lip sync for your life.
I've worked so hard to be here. I can't go now, I just can't. I have to do my best to make my family proud. Oh my god, please, I need to stay.
Candace said I gagged her with my lip sync last week. Well, bitch, prepared to gag again. It's not my time, these girls aren't getting rid of me that easily. When I'm on the stage and the song kicks on, it's a hit of pure ecstasy and adrenaline. I am not going home tonight.
Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
Ritsuka Uenoyama slayed the lip sync. Elise had a bad lip sync.
My queens, I have made my decision. Ritsuka Uenoyama Shantae, you stay. You may leave the stage. Elise, my love, you brought so much light to this competition. We'll all miss you. Now, sashay, away.
Elise opens her mouth to say an exit line, but chokes up and starts crying before rushing off of the stage. Kaito runs after her, shoving past a production member that tries to stop him.
I just couldn't face everyone and try to make a funny one-liner when I was so crushed. I feel like I let my entire family down. I let the judges down. I had to leave.
Kaito stops Elise before making it to the mirror and consoles her, saying that he's so proud of her no matter what and is going to miss her. Elise hugs him, slowly calming down and thanking him for coming. Kaito says he wouldn't have let her leave without saying goodbye, and that he's sure her family will be proud of her and is excited to see her again in Noor. Elise nods, and a production member finally catches up to Kaito and sternly tells him he has to leave. Kaito tries to argue, but Elise giggles and tells him to get his ass back to the stage. Kaito leaves with the production member.
This is Untucked.
The queens walk into Untucked, and Kaito congratulates Ritsuka on winning the lip sync. Ritsuka thanks him, and says he expected him to be bitter because his friend went home. Kaito laughs, and says he isn't Flower, and Flower glares at him. Aventurine says they should congratulate Oswald and Skull Kid for winning Snatch Game. Flower sighs, and says that while she may not like them, they were fantastic in the challenge this week and definitely deserved the win. Mimi looks surprised, and smiles at Flower.
What do I think about Flower complimenting us? Well, I don't particularly care. Just because she isn't delusional doesn't mean she isn't a raging cunt. And I meant what I said. Because how was that bitch not in the bottom? It's rare for a girl to crash and burn like that, and a tight corset and pretty gown shouldn't offset that. Period.
Skull Kid says she doesn't want compliments from her, and asks if she still thinks they're weak after she was blatantly saved from being sent home by the judges. Flower scowls, and says sent home, please, not with the lip sync Elise gave. Oswald tries to tell Skull Kid to back off, but Skull Kid ignores him, and says that he's sick of queens like Flower, Mimi, and Pikachu getting away with mediocrity. Pikachu stands up and shouts excuse me, staring at Skull Kid. Josie looks concerned.
Skull Kid, I don't think that was wise. This was not the day to come for Pikachu, he's completely cracked. I don't think this is gonna go well.
Pikachu starts walking towards Skull Kid, screaming at him, saying that he slayed the fuck out of this challenge and was robbed of a top placement, while Skull Kid got handed a shared with Oswald, because everyone including the judges can see that he's nothing more than second place to Oswald in comedy but wanted to force him as a frontrunner. Skull Kid starts to respond, but Pikachu screams over him to shut the fuck up for once and let him finish. Skull Kid is gagged, and before he can react, Pikachu says that Skull Kid's drag is some of the most worthless slop he's ever seen, and that he's baffled that Skull Kid up to now has been able to walk the runway in sticks and scotch tape and get praised like a god.
Oh my god, my ears are ringing. How can someone so small be this loud? It looks like Pikachu is about to explode, and he's taking everyone down with him. Someone better get him under control, because this seems like it might not be pretty.
Oswald says now hold on, how can Pikachu say that with this as his look tonight? Pikachu whips his head around to face Oswald, and shouts that he doesn't want to hear shit from him, because he's no better than Skull Kid with that skid mark contour and those thirsty wig, and that at least this is his first time being subpar on the runway, while Oswald has only managed to look decent once or twice. Josie gets up and tells Pikachu to calm down, and Pikachu starts crying, continuing to scream that he's not going to calm down. He says that he's working so hard and ending up safe, while Aventurine has been in the top 3 times for being hot, and Oswald and Skull Kid are getting praise from the judges while looking like they did their makeup with a garden trowel. Josie grabs onto Pikachu's hand and says it's okay, and Pikachu says it's not okay, and that he's exhausted and frustrated and he can't take any more, before storming out of Untucked. Josie leaves after him. After a moment, Flower asks what the hell was that about, and says that thank God Pikachu will be gone soon with these performances. Kaito looks to Flower, and says to please lay off of him, he's clearly not himself. Flower looks annoyed, but thinks for a moment, looking to Mimi, and reluctantly nods. After the room calms down, the queens toast top making top 9.